Okay, welcome back. In this part, I'm going to show you how to get started making your Harry Potter box. The first thing you need to do is have a new canvas open or a new project, and then you're going to come down here to Images. Once you're in Images, come over here to where the search bar is, and you're going to type in box card, and then hit the search magnifying glass. Okay, you'll notice that there are a bunch of them that show up, lots of cute little topics, but actually you just need to buy one for this project. And I've already purchased mine. It's the one called Celebrate. And the reason why I thought this would be a good one is since it's almost New Year's Eve, you can make these and send them just as they are to your friends for New Year's. But anyway, I've already purchased mine. It was $1.49, so I'm going to click on it and insert it. Okay, now it's inserted into my screen here onto my mat. I'm going to come down to the bottom here and kind of minimize it to about 50%, and I'm going to pull it over towards the center so I can work with it more easily. The next thing I need to do is I need to make sure that my box or my card is going to be a decent size. If you look right here, let's move this up. If I start counting here, each one of these is an inch, you'll notice if this is how big the card is, it's 1, 2, 3, a little over 3 inches wide. Okay, that's crazy. We need to fix that. So the way to fix that I know of is to come over to the Shapes tool, click on the square, and that brings up a square that we are going to make the size that we would like our card to be. Now, I'm going to make mine, I'm going to unlock this lock right here first. Then I'm going to come up to the size area. For the width, I'm going to make mine 5.75 or 5 3/4 inches wide by 4.5 or 4.5 inches tall. That's how big I want my card to be. So it's going to have to fit, or I'm going to use this to size the envelope. Okay, I'm going to put this over top of the envelope like that. Then I'm going to click on the envelope part and just start stretching it. I might need to move the envelope over then. And it's still, I can tell it's still not big enough. Move it over again. Now let's try putting this square over top and let's see how that does. Okay, that's pretty close already. To me, that's just perfect. Now, what this has done is while it was resizing the envelope, since everything was still grouped, it resized all of these little components too. So everything stayed proper. So now I can get rid of this square and exit out. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to choose our own adventure, basically. Remember those books? I don't know. I was a teacher and I used to read those sometimes to my kids. But anyway, this is a choose your own adventure, meaning that there's so much that you could do with this. I could simply just click on make it, and it would separate it into all the different mats that I need. But I don't want to do that. Oh, by the way, it tells you up here, did you ever notice how many mats you need? 11 mats, that's quite a few. But I'm going to cancel this because I'm going to choose an adventure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background of my card, the actual base of it. Oh, look, I can't do anything yet. The first thing I need to do is to ungroup it. Okay, now that it's ungrouped, I can pick the background of the card. And notice when I come over here, the part that's highlighted or made in the gray is that background. And here's what color it is, this tannish color. I'm going to change it to purple. Okay, there's that. Oh, while I'm at it, I think I'll change the card to the same color of purple. So again, I click on this, it highlights or grays the part that's selected, and I can change it to the purple. Okay. Now, if I want to, I actually could even change this to purple. So again, this has been highlighted. Notice there are two parts here that have been highlighted. There's the score part, which these are the little dotted lines so you know where to bend your piece. And then there's the actual part. I'm going to change it to purple. All right. Now, as I said, I could just go and make it, and I could put these celebrate things on here. So, of course, you can tell where things will go. The stars will go, well, they would get cut out separately because they're different colors, and then they would get glued onto this. The balloons would be cut out separately since they're separate colors, and they would be put onto this, glued on. But I'm not going to use any of these little parts, so I'm going to move this over and see if I can just select these and get rid of them. There we go. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to come to this right here and move it down. I want to change this so that I can put some of my Harry Potter pieces on here instead of what it has been designed to have. So the first thing I will do is I will come over to the shape tool again, pick the square, and I'm going to need 3 of them because I'm going to adjust 3 different things here. So I've picked it once. I'm going to come up here and duplicate. There's 2 of them, and now I have 3. So let me increase the size of this. Move these over closer. Okay. Now remember we talked about this, and it has score lines that are you're barely able to see them, but they're right here. So what I have to do is I've got to highlight this, and notice the only option I have down here is detach, because those score lines were attached to this item so that they would stay exactly where they're supposed to stay. Well, I'm going to detach them right now, and I'm going to click on one of them. I don't want to do that. I don't want to move it like that. Put it back. I'm going to click on this. Okay, they are selected right now. And what I'm going to do, and if you look up here, you can see that they're selected. And actually, I could have selected them like this, or I could have selected the background like that. But what I want is the score line. So what I'm going to do is use the arrow key on my keyboard and just make it go straight down. Because then when I want to put those back in place, all I need to use is my arrow key and just move it back up. So I'm going to leave that there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these blocks, bring it down here. I'm going to resize it kind of. Okay, what I'm attempting to do right here is I'm going to slice this because I want to get rid of this curly top part. I don't need that for my Harry Potter thing. And just to back up for a moment, the reason why I had to move these score lines down is because when you're using the slice tool, you can only have 2 layers, and that was considered a layer. So now I have 2 layers, the black one and the purple. I can highlight both of those. Okay, it highlighted everything. Whoops, I don't want to move it. Go back. Highlight that. Oh, that's what I want to do. Highlight the black and that, and then I can go to slice. So I needed to highlight the black box and the whole item. Then I can slice this out. Actually, whoopsie, I don't want to move that, remember? Got to keep that right where it is. I want to make sure I just get this black thing. Slice, get rid of that. I don't need it. I don't need that, and I don't need that. Okay, try the same thing again now with this where the balloons were to go. I'm going to bring down one of these boxes, the box, maybe resize it just a little bit. Oops, I moved that. I have an issue with that. You may too. Just hit your undo button if you have that problem. Just get the box. to there. Then I'm going to grab the whole thing and slice. So once again, now I got to make sure I'm just grabbing the black, grabbing the purple, and grabbing just the black. So I'm going to delete all these parts because I don't need them. Now I'm on my third box, and I think I'm going to want to have one more. I'll show you why in just a minute. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to do the third thing, which is right here. Move this guy out of the way. So move him. I'm going to just grab this stuff and slice. Again, making sure I'm getting the part I want, so I can delete that. Just get the black part, delete that. Just get the little purple, delete that. Now I could be done, but these are awfully short in my opinion, so I'm going to make them taller, and I can cut them off later if I need to after the project is done. So I have one more box I'm going to use for this one, so maybe I'll get another box, duplicate this, so I have one box for each one. So I'm going to bring this box down here. I'm going to undo the lock so that I can resize this however I'd like. And what I'm going to do, I just think I'll put that right down there like that. Maybe a little smaller. Let's see what happens when I do it like this. Whoops. I moved that, and again, I did not want to. Maybe I'll put it at an angle like the one is right now. Okay, now I'm going to do this last box, bring it down like this, take off the little lock, resize it, bring it down, maybe put it at an angle, kind of like this one is, like that. Okay, now I can take these things, take all of that, and weld it together. Okay, and now I can move these lines. Remember, these are the score lines that are underneath that welded piece. I'm going to use the arrow key on my keyboard and just move them up into place. Whoops, too high. There we go. And now I need to attach that again so those stay with it. See down here, attach is available. Now, if I click on make it, everything should be great. There are those pieces. There's the welded part, the envelope, and that part. Looks great. So I'll come back in the next one and tell you how to get the Harry Potter images.